Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. How are you doing tonight? How you doing, guys? We're here to talk about the player ratings for the defeat to Arsenal. Just getting myself in a slightly better position. Defeat to Arsenal and any other business tonight. Let's just see if we can get. How does that look, guys? How are you feeling today? The night after the day before. Or the day after the night before. Hi, Zach. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Hope you guys are recovering. Danny, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well. Let's see if I can get this in without. Maybe I have to just move back. I'm just a bit too big. Diet started again today. We'll see how that goes. But it's one of those things. You go away on holiday. You've got to eat, guys. You've got to eat. You've got to eat all that French pastries. Zach, I'm gutted we didn't win, but must look forward from it. Absolutely. Akash, hope you're well, Akash. Nice of you guys to join me tonight. And a bit of housekeeping, guys. If you're new to the channel, please give us a subscribe and a thumbs up. Hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. You know, we don't run away, don't hide. I was on with Sonny's channel last night. Sadly, my computer, well, maybe fortunately, my computer decided to pack up and it died on me. I just crashed whilst I was on there, but at least I showed me face a little bit. And look, you can't deny Arsenal deserve to win. I mean, scoreline doesn't lie. Let's look what you guys are saying. Oh no, I forgot to punch out. Says it's me. You wouldn't get it. I get it. You wouldn't get it. Got a new phone, so lost my other account. Don't worry, buddy. At least the Rags aren't going to win it. Absolutely. Manchester final. Everybody's in Manchester. They'll say it's a Manchester final, first ever Manchester final, and a little bit presumptuous. Danny, I won't be chatting, but we'll be watching. All right, no worries, Danny. I hope you're well, mate. Wouldn't get it. Says I'm not going to be kind in the player ratings. I'm still good. Look, guys, trust me. I'm, somebody I can't remember now. I said I drove over 500 miles yesterday. I hardly had any sleep the night before. I was up at somewhat like 3:30 UK time. I drove over 500 miles to get here for that performance. Hey, Blackpool Blu-ray, I hope you're well, buddy. And it was. If any of you guys who watch me on the live stream, I said I was very, very nervous. I didn't say I was just nervous. I said I was very nervous before this game. And there's a funny thing I also said. It said, because I picked that team, and I said it's probably our best team. You could argue whether you'd have Rodri or Gundogan. And it's a moot point. And I said, actually, we were too predictable. I think I'm just looking at some of the notes I wrote. Too predictable. We were too predictable. Someone else said ponderous, uninspiring, and predictable. And I actually think it was a mistake to pick our best 11, which sounds a bit crazy. But I think it was a mistake to pick our best 11 on reflection because of what happened. If we'd won, I'd say, yeah, it's a great idea. But we were too predictable. We needed something a little bit different. Pep usually throws a curveball. He might throw Foden in, or he might throw Bernardo, or he might play a slightly different system, and it was too predictable. You could argue that Arteta outguessed Pep. Zach, we can. Zach, the thing is, Zach, in the last 2 seasons, we played against lots of teams we parked the bus. We almost always found a way through. I don't know about that beyond Notre Dame. We needed. The funny thing is, as someone said, we should have just put Laporte up front for the last 10 minutes because if we're lumping the ball in the box to Gabby Jesus, Sterling, and Bernardo Silva, what's the point? We needed someone with some height, and we didn't have it. So extremely, yeah. Look, I'm gutted. Beyond Notre Dame, we have players who play in between the lines. Usually, David Silva's in between the lines. KDB's in between the lines. But I noticed that when they were in between the lines, there was no space There was very little space between the lines yesterday, with Arsenal playing a 3-5-2 or no 3-4-3 kind of, or a 5-2-3. It moved around. It was quite a flexible approach. It morphed between different formations, but it was very tight on the edge of Arsenal's box, very tight. We needed something different. Let's go through these guys, and I'm going to do some work tonight, so I need a rest because I've got to be honest. After having so little sleep the night before, you'd think that I'd sleep like a baby. I'd sleep really well. About 3:30, I was up between 3 and 3:30. My mind was not at rest because of what happened. I was gutted, man. Absolutely gutted. I think we've had a few of our friends visitors already. I suspect we've had a few friends visitors already. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I knew that the fat tramp and his buddies, they're still at it. And if you don't know who the fat tramp is, come on, guys. It's as if we don't know what's going on. I'll bite a little bit. It's as if we don't know what's going on. How sad is that fat tramp and his buddies that they're still at it. You can see suddenly we get loads of people on. I hope you're watching. I hope you're watching, wasting your sad, sorry lives. Look, you saw it. I could see it suddenly. Bang! We're up to 10 people live, which is not much, but we're up to 10, and suddenly it drops back to 5 or 6, and suddenly you've got loads of dislikes. It's quite boring. I actually saw it going through today. I saw one going through. I was looking at some stats, and there was a video, and suddenly, bang, out of nowhere, loads of people were watching it. But that's like, well, this video's done its course. Loads of people watching. It is quite sad. Anyway, let's get in. Let's get in before that pair of dangling hairy gonads get in the way, and they suck the life out of everybody. Zach, we don't know. We don't know who it was. Yeah, don't worry, Kex. We don't know who it was, Zach, because they're not going to say it, and I don't think they're going to go anywhere. They might say something behind the scenes, but they're not going to go anywhere with it. I don't believe. And it's just it's sad that I think some of them, they know they can probably get away with it. I think that's quite a worry that City aren't going to go after people who are slagging them off, and they'll take it very, very carefully as to who they go after and how they go after them. I think anybody who's libeled City or slandered them or whatever, reading today that it's unlikely they'll go after them because it's one of these cases that will drag on. I think what Stefan Boston said, if they went to court over this, the case would drag on, and you'd get a lot of dirty linen aired in public, like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, where there's a lot coming out that really shouldn't have come out. And City would have the same sort of problem. A lot would come out. So I don't think they're going to go anywhere. I think it's just maybe with some of them, it's a shot across the bow, but they're not going to go anywhere with it. And people will keep getting away with it. And the only way City really can hit back is through media. What's going to happen? Media are dead set against City. So I don't know how on earth that can happen, but it's something that City fans wish we would do something about. Kex, what 2 penalties? The one I remember was, to be honest, that second half, I'm pretty sure we weren't going to score, so I'd lost a bit of the buzz of watching the game. Obviously, I watched it to the end. I know some people give up when it was 2-0. But the one on Raheem, I didn't see it well enough from the other angle. I wanted to see it they were showing it from behind, looking at the backs of the players. I wanted to see the front. If he touched Raheem's leg first before he got the ball, it has to be a penalty. Even though in the old days we'd have said it's a bit soft, but that's where the rules are. Anyway, Handball and Raz. Raz one I thought was a penalty. Kex. I thought it was when I saw it first time. Anyway, let's get into these ratings. Edison. How was Edison? I don't think. I'm just trying to remember. Did he have a bad game? Could he have done anything with the goals? The first one, well taken, slotted to one side. Second one, one-on-one. Come on, Kex, behave, man. I don't mind if people are being silly. I don't mind putting them in the cooler. I have no problem with that. But giving Edison a 4, I think, is ridiculous. I don't think he did that much wrong. Second goal went through his legs, but did it? We lost Kex. So what? I suspect everybody's going to get lower than 4 then, Kex. Going on that basis, because I don't think Edison had a terrible game. I don't think he was misplacing passes like other games. And I think everybody else is going to give the sort of marks I think are reasonable. Blackpool gives him a 6. Zach's given him a 6. Ultra Gaming is beyond Ultra Gaming 5.5. And I'm going to give him 6. I don't think he had a terrible game. I don't think he had masses to do. Okay, that he had that shot that was straight down the barrel from Aubameyang, but he was there. He saved it. You don't have to agree with people, but you've got to be reasonable. And I think 4 is unreasonable. He kept us early in the game. I thought we'd come back from that, and we didn't. But okay, that's what it is. Move on to Walker. Walker. As I said to the Arsenal fans, that was high. Buddy, I'm not even going to say that. Sirik. But I said you can get us down the sides. Beyond Ultra gives me a 4.5. Zach's giving him a 4. Zach says terrible, and Blackpool Blu-ray gives him a 5.5. I won't even go with a 5.5. I'm going to go with a 5. Kex is giving a 4. Now, that's reasonable now on Walker. I was giving Walker a 5. I mean, I think that's generous. For that first goal, sorry, mate, you've got to know where your man is. You've got to. And for the second goal, you've got to be busting the gut because you're the man with the pace. You should be busting the gut. It should have been left to Garcia to bust the gut, who's just not as fast as Aubameyang. So Walker, I've given him a 5. If you give him less than 5, I'm not going to argue about that. Garcia himself, I don't think he had a terrible game, personally. I don't think he had a terrible game. They were picking on him. They were looking at him. Hi, Samina Yusuf. I hope you're well. HC. Or I'll call you HC. But they were picking on Garcia. Or they not picking on him, but they had him as a weak link because obviously he's alongside Aymeric Laporte. So when they were pressing us, when Garcia got the ball, they were more likely to press on him directly rather than hang back a little bit. I don't think he had a terrible game. I don't think. I mean, someone said to me today, "Well, he was at fault." They said at half-time they showed 3 chances that they had, or not at the end of the game, or whenever it was, and Garcia wasn't even in the picture for 2 of them. And he had no chance with the goal. I think he's just not fast enough. Walker, I don't mind giving Garcia a 6. I'm going to give him a 6. But Blu-ray gives him a 6. Kex gives him a 5. Beyond Ultra Gaming gives him a 5. And I'm going to go on to Laporte and talk about Laporte in respect to this Garcia as well. And this fella said Garcia was playing so-and-so on side. Was it Lacazette or whoever? But I said, look, the thing is, Laporte did the pass over the head of Gabby Jesus. It was chested or controlled by the Arsenal player. And I think they slipped Lacazette in. Now, Garcia and all the other defenders had moved up. They'd got the line. Moved up. Laporte was the one who did the overhit pass. And Laporte was the one who was slow to come out. He was slow to come out. And that screwed Garcia and the rest of the defense. So that was Laporte's fault. And for me, Laporte had a very, very poor game. He started off with a couple of nice passes, but then a lot of poor passes. And I'm going to give Laporte 5. I think I'm being generous. I was extremely disappointed with Laporte's performance. Lockdown footy, yeah, it wasn't his best. I catch that Aguero's training, but is he doing weights and stuff? He's not actually. Is he running, cycling? What's he doing? I haven't seen that, and I still don't think he's gonna. The best we can expect is he'll be on the bench against Madrid, and that's in 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks time. Sorry. So that's when I expect him to be there. Samini Yusuf, the overthinking of Pep cost us to the loss yesterday. How he chooses the monkey. Come on, that's Samini. You can't have that, buddy. And you'll be blocked for that. Can't have that, mate. I'm not even going to put you in timeout. You can't be going calling players like that. I don't mind people criticizing players, and I think everybody's got a right to do that. But you can't abuse them. That I will say no to. Harry Mills, I hate to say it, but typical City, keep going, Ray. Leave the children to the... Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. Look, Harry, that's our 11th defeat of the season. It's just too many. It is. You cannot have that many defeats in a season. And how many times have we been battered? That's the question. How many times have we been battered? And yes, people will pick on the defenders. I say it's not just the defenders. The defenders are having too much to do because we're giving cheap ball away. Okay. Anyway, that's Laporte. We've given him a 5. Mendy did night for me. He dangled his leg for that cross for that Pepe put in for the first goal. And I mean, I'm going to give him a 5. He didn't do anything for me. Crosses too high. Kex. There we go, Kex. I think that's about time, Kex. I'm just bored. If you're going to go around giving, say, sack Pep and give Mendy a 2 and Edison a 4. I mean, sorry, mate. You don't deserve to be on the channel, Kex. It's just boring. Omar Abdulrahman, I wouldn't give Mendy a 3 because I think I wouldn't go as low as that. Blackpool Blu-ray gives him a 5. Bill Ultra game in at 4.5. Disastrous end to a great week. Blackpool Blu-ray, yeah, look, the week was funny because we were hoping for a great week, and the week has been sandwiched between 3 great things: the Cast result, Liverpool result, okay, United getting a win or a draw midweek, then our defeat, and then United's defeat. So it's been sandwiched. It's not been a bad. If you look at the beginning and the end of the week, it's been bloody brilliant. But if you look in the middle, that bit where City lost, it's not been good. So Mendy weren't good for me. Gundogan, for me, it was a tactics. It was a tactics. And as Pep said, if we'd played the first half the way we played the second half, it might have been a different story. And he could be right. But Pep, you're the man. Change it in the first half when we're struggling. Change it up. You didn't change personnel in the second half. You changed something, tactics or whatever, or give the guys a blast. Should have done that in the first half. You had all that time in the first half to do it. So just you wait till you get your mark, Pep. Gundogan, I don't think he had a great game. I don't think he had a terrible game. I'm going to give him 5.5. Can you blame him for the goals? You can't. Can you blame him for not being creative? We are supposed to have other more creative players like David Silva, like KDB, like Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez. 6 from Blackpool Blu-ray, 5.5 from Ultra Gaming, Beyond Ultra Gaming. Now I was thinking 5.5 or 6. I went with 5.5 just because we lost the game. But I don't think Gundogan was terrible. I don't think he was brilliant. But one of the problems he had very little space to work in, as in he likes to dink it over. Look, Arsenal did a number on us. They played really well. You can't take anything away from them. So that's Gundogan. Moving forwards, KDB. Now, KDB had a mixed bag of a game for me. He had some lazy passes, overhit, underhit crosses, overhit crosses. But he also created, I think, 2 or 3 very, very good chances. There was one where he cuts it back to Raheem Sterling, who was coming through. Sterling should have hit the target. That should have been an equaliser. He had that corner, which hit Sterling in the shoulder or the chest when he should have done better. And he had a cross that David Silva, if that had been Aguero, maybe Aguero would have flicked it over the keeper. but David Silva hits it wide. Blackpool Blue Rays going to give him 5.5. Beyond Roger gave him 6. I'm going to give him 5.5. Even though he had some good moments, we need more from him. We really do. And actually, I'm going back to the Arsenal guys I was talking to, and I said KDB would only get a 7.5 or an 8 for this season. For me, he might have been our best player, but I don't think he's been consistent enough or good enough for the quality he is. David Silva, I thought he had an okay game. He had to come deep a lot to pick up the ball. He tried to get between the lines. He tried to make things happen. I don't think he was terrible, but I mean, unlike KDB was trying to thread wonder passes. I mean, actually, I'm going to give KDB a 5 because I just remember he was trying to do some worldly passes, threading it through an eye of a needle between 3 defenders. It weren't going to happen. Or when the ball came across once and he was at the way out on the far right and he tried to volley the crossing. If you get that right, fantastic. If you get it wrong, you look at a bit of a dope. Went straight to the keeper. I wasn't happy. Anyway, David gets a 6 from Blackpool Blue Rays, 6 from Bjorn Ultragavin, 6. I'm going to give him a 6.5. I don't think he had a terrible game. He was one of probably our better players. Was David Silva. Let's go up top. Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez had very little ball. He had very little. And in the games, most of the time, Riyad is playing it back. If he's got 2 men on him, he almost always plays it back. Okay. What disappointed me with Mahrez, because it's a system. Okay. 2 men on you, play it back. When he was 1-on-1, I can't remember who it was against, and he ripped him, cut inside, and he shot. I thought he should have shot the far post. He shot the near post. I've seen him before when he's done that and fooled the keeper. Keeper made a very, very good save, did Martinez. But I still think he should have shot the far post. And he didn't take his man on enough. We needed something different. He should have been trying to take his man on when it was 1-on-1 out wide and not just look for the easy ball back, because we needed something different. If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to struggle. And Arsenal, they knew what we were about, and they were very compact and tight. Mahrez had to do something different. Now, as I said, he didn't get a lot of the ball. He didn't get a lot of quality ball. But because he didn't do anything different, I'm going to give Mahrez a 5.5. I can't give him more than that. There was no, in my opinion, there were very few moments of individual brilliance from Mahrez. That one moment where he had that shot, but that was about it, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for how he'd been in the start of the season, the start of the restart, and how he's been for most of the season. He's been one of our better players, and it was extremely disappointing. Blackpool Blue Rays gives David a 6. He gives Mahrez a 6. Yeah, look, maybe he could have gone to the side, because let's look at Raheem Sterling. Now, Raheem Sterling had some good opportunities, and he fluffed his lines. There was one where he cut inside and slammed it over the bat, high, wide, and handsome. There was that one where he came into a great position from the pass from KDB, and he should have slotted it in the far corner. And you're losing marks for that. We weren't having tons of easy chances, tons of great chances. You've got to be taking chances like Sterling had there. The one that hits him in the chest or the shoulder from the KDB corner, that was poor. So he had some poor moments. I don't remember him creating masses either. And people say, well, why did you take Mahrez off? Maybe could have and put Mahrez on the left and taken Sterling off. I don't know. So Sterling, for me, for all those chances missed, I'm gonna give him a 5. I'm gonna give him a 5 because, however threatening he looked from time to time, he should have done better. He should have done more with the chances he did have. So gotta say that was disappointing from Raheem Sterling last night. And then we're left with Gabriel Jesus. Let's see what you guys are going to say about Sterling. Gabriel Jesus. I'll talk about Gabby. I'll talk about Gabby. Gabby. What do you reckon, guys, about Gabby Jesus? Could he have done more? He works hard. That's his usual thing. He works hard. I don't remember him having any really good chances. Blackpool 4.5 for Sterling. Back to his frustrating best yet. Sterling gets a 5 from beyond Ultra Gaming. I thought you might say I'm harsh on Sterling giving him a 5. But to be honest, he wasn't great. Gabby J gets a 5 from Blackpool Blu-ray, 4.5 for Beyond Ultra Gaming. I don't think Gabby J did a lot. He didn't have much to deal with. That's the problem. He was frustrated. He was having to come back a lot to pick the ball up, even around that halfway line. And I just think that you're asking, you're not going to get much out of Gabby J there. Would Aguero? People said, Aguero would have done a lot better. He'd have scored some goals. He made some better runs. Honestly, I think Aguero would have struggled as well. The Arsenal back line were very, very good. They give very little away. So I don't think Aguero would have done that much better than Gabby J, if in all honesty. And so I'm not going to bother about the subs. Subs came on too late. They could have had an impact. Because they did that, I'm not going to bother. That's just my way. I generally don't bother with the subs. But let's go on to Pep. Man, Pep. Pep. It's like you can't be outthought. It's happened too often this season. Even the games that we drew, I think 3 games in the league we've drawn 2-2. We should have won them. We've had too much pressure on the defence, and they've crumbled a few times. Arsenal had a fair few chances. I mean, not just the 2 goals. They had at least 3 chances in the first half. The ones that I can remember, there was that one from Aubameyang that was hit straight down the throat of Edison. Edison made a save. I'm looking at my notes. It's about Mendy, high cross, wide. Same within 30 seconds, Mendy another cross straight to an Arsenal player. Within 30 seconds, Mendy throwing intercepted by Lacazette. So far too many mistakes from City. Pep was honest once saying the team were poor in the first half. He's true, but this is my point. Blackpool Blu-ray, the team were poor. Why didn't Pep change something in the first half? During the first half, he didn't change personnel at halftime. But we look more at it in the second half. We look more likely to score in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. Why couldn't we look like that in the first half? Why couldn't Pep have changed it during the first half, after the first 20 minutes, when we weren't really achieving anything? When Arsenal were pressing us. And it wasn't hard. They weren't pressing us hard. They were choosing their moments. And whenever Edison flipped the ball out wide, bang, straight away, someone who would be on those guys. I think we should have played a bit more long ball from Edison. I saw it once where you pick up the scraps. You had Gabby Jesus fighting for a ball, and it ended up with 2 versus 3. You've got to do something different. If they've got 4 or 5 men in our half, then they've only got maximum of 5 men and the keeper in their half. So why can't we bypass the midfield occasionally? Edison's one of the best at that. So I'm going to give Pep a 4. I'm going to give Pep a 4 because he needed to change it up more. We weren't firing in the first half. That's on Pep. He's the manager. If the players don't listen to you, put somebody else in. He didn't do anything different for too long to do. Although I did say in the second half, don't put the sub. People asking for subs. I said it's too soon to put subs on. Whilst we're on top, Blackpool, we seem to play the same as we did versus Bournemouth. Yeah, it was a sluggish performance. It lacked creativity in the end. And when we're just pumping balls into the box for our tiny midget strikers, what's that all about? And we will do a video. It might be tomorrow where we talk about players. We need to have an honest discussion about players because we will be changing. We will be getting some new players in the summer. We will be, but we need to work out, who's going to stay, who's going to go. We've talked about this many times, but we're just so far off where we really should be. So far off where we really should be. This season, as I said, you cannot lose 11 games this season. 11 games this season. And the worry is, how many more games are we going to lose? We've got 2 league games and a game against Madrid. If we lose against Madrid, we're out. The only way, honestly, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. Some people say the only way to save our season is to win the Champions League. Just hang on. 10 years ago, we'd have been delighted with the Carabao Cup, finishing second in the league and being in the Champions League and getting to semi-final of the FA Cup and getting into the last 16 or quarterfinals of the Champions League. 10 years ago, yes, our ambition has changed and we should raise our sights. So I understand, don't forget where we came from, but we are a different beast now in the last 10 years. But winning. Look, I'm not going to say winning the Champions League because people are mistaken. I said far too many. I've said it many times. If we're lucky enough to beat Arsenal, if we beat Arsenal, I always said if. Far too many people were looking at the FA Cup final as a gimme. Is it going to be Man United versus Man City Cup final? I said, hang on, that's totally disrespectful to our opponents, Arsenal. And anybody looking at Lyon and Juventus, once again, that's totally disrespectful to Real Madrid. And if you disrespect them, if you take someone lightly, you're asking for trouble. So we can't do that again. You can't look ahead to what the next game is. You've got to just be focused on that Real Madrid game. I do not want us to have just 3 games left this season. We cannot afford to have that because that could crush our players if we get beat by Madrid after getting the win in the Bernabeu. Hi, Faris. Hope you're well. It doesn't matter. It's not too late, mate. But Pep got a 4 from me for his tactics and his stubbornness. A lot is needed. We need a leader in the dressing room to lift their spirits. Although Delph wasn't great player, he was. He had that bit of leadership. He really went for it. Yeah, I'm still happy. Look, Harry. As I said, where we've come from in the last 10 or 12 years, we've got to be, in some respects, satisfied that we're not relegated. We're not fighting relegation. But look, you've got to also be disappointed that we didn't muster up a better fight for the league title. You've got to be disappointed the way we've gone out of the FA Cup. And yeah, it's going to be nervous days at Blackpool Blu-ray. We cannot afford to play it like that. And actually, if I'm Pep, this is what I'm tempted now. If I'm Pep, you play your best team on Wednesday against Watford. Yeah. Your best team that's fit, you play on Wednesday. Give them 60 minutes. Against Norwich, do the same. In fact, you can give them 80 minutes against Norwich because it's 2 weeks before the Madrid game. So you need to have your players reasonably fit. But what is doubly disappointing for me is getting beat by Arsenal means we've got no FA Cup final. Obviously, we don't win the FA Cup. But also, it gives us a spare weekend before the Champions League. So that means we have no football for 2 weeks. And I didn't want that. I wanted that game in the FA Cup final so our players could have a bit, keeping form, keeping fitness, keep that match fitness, keeping good nick. Faris, let's look what Faris is. Edison 6, Walker 6. That's a bit generous for Walker. Garcia 6, Laporte 5, Mendy 5.5. 6, Maris 5, Jesus 5.5, Sterling 5. It's pretty similar to what everybody's given Faris. Everybody's given a lot of marks between 5 and 6. Oh, there was some 4s knocking about for now. Plenty of booing in August. Absolutely, Blackpool Blu-ray. Yeah, Pearson's been sacked. Hi, JSG. Hope you're well. Yeah, Pearson. Watford need a win. They've got 2 games left. They need a spark. They need a win. And obviously playing City next. They need to win one more game, and I think they're safe if they win that one game. If they'd beaten West Ham, Watford would have been safe, and that's it. So obviously it's going to be extremely frustrating extremely frustrating that, you know, a little bit of a chance has gone. A little bit of a chance of doing something has gone. But anyway, we have to roll on, guys. They have to roll on, sorry. You know, the chance, it's unlikely they're going to beat City now. And then they're resting on the last game of the season, which obviously they don't want to rely on the last game of the season. But, you know, it's going to be interesting. Mullins is temporarily taken over. I don't know. Are they going to get a new manager for the last 2 games of the season? You know, what helps them is obviously they got the better goal difference than Bournemouth and Villa. You know, Bournemouth and Villa are on -7. But what if Villa win the next game? Then Villa are on 34 points. You know, and then Watford have to win something somewhere. You know, it's a really tough time down at the bottom. They've got Arsenal. I mean, Watford could lose their last 2 games. They need something from the last 2 games. And I can't see where they're going to get it, really, playing the way they are. Absolutely, Harry. We've got to go out there. Got to go out there and do a number on Watford. But I want our first team now. Whereas originally I was thinking to rest the first team, play the first team against Norwich, play the first team in the FA Cup final. Well, there's no FA Cup final. Play your best team next game. Let them play 60 minutes. Play the best team in the last game of the season. Let them play about 80 minutes. It's the way it is. It's the way it is. Right, guys. I think that's me lot. We'll have we've got 2 days before the Watford game. Oh, sorry, Monday and Tuesday. The Watford game's on Wednesday. And what we'll do is tomorrow night we'll have a look at transfers. Everybody likes a little bit of transfer chat. So tomorrow we're going to look at transfers. But we've got to keep it sensible. I'm not having, people getting rid of 10 players. That's not going to happen. I'm not having people say we're going to get, Messi and Haaland and, Lewandowski. We'll keep it sensible. If we keep it sensible, we'll have a good old chat tomorrow, hopefully, about transfer targets and who needs to go. Guys, thanks for joining us. As I said before, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. See you around, Blues.